Hi, today I'm going to react to Frank Zappa, Inca Roads. This is the third Zappa that I'm reacting to, I think. The way you can know that, by the way, is from my channel. If you go over here and press search and then you type in Zappa, you'll see all my videos. Oh, I did San Bernardino, Montana, and Peaches on Regalia. That's right, Peaches on Regalia was instrumental. That's why I was like, what is that third song? What was it about? I remembered San Bernardino and I remembered dental floss, but I couldn't remember. I was like, what's the third one about? Because it was instrumental. So what I like to do different than other reactors is I type my thoughts. Here we are. I type my thoughts as I go so that I don't have to interrupt the music. Also, this is one of those weird visualized videos, so it just like shows the smoking thing. Like there's nothing really to see here. See what I mean? It's just gonna like look like the cigarette's burning. So it's not that important we see that. But I will be typing my notes as I go so that one, I don't have to interrupt. Two, it keeps me focused. And you can see who am I, by the way? I am Erica. What are my qualifications? I don't know. I like music, but I do teach singing and piano as a living. I am a trained opera singer, so I did go to music school. It's a classical music degree. I've listened to a lot of music. I have over 500 reaction videos now on my channel, so that's a lot. And if you want to make your own request, please go to my Linktree link, which is at the top of the page right here. Linktree. Go here, fill out this form. The form becomes this, and then from here, look what it looks like. Frank Zappa, Inca Roads link. If you put the YouTube link in for me, even better. And then I know who sent it. And if it's sponsored, this is my sponsored list that I'm working through. All the greens are completed. These are all my suggested non-sponsored links. So those I'm also working through when I have time. So just feel free to drop it in there, because if you just put it as a comment, I may or may not see it because I get over 100 comments a day. So I do like to try to chat in the comments sometimes when I can. But when I can't, just please keep in mind that you should just put it in the form, and then I don't lose it. Because after I finish this today, you guys are going to get me. I'm going to mark this green, and we're all going to feel we're going to feel good about ourselves. Okay, I already did that. Let me close things that I've already done. All right, here we are. Inca Roads. It's 8 minutes and 44 seconds. It's a lot of typing to do.
Never seen nothing like that in my entire life. A round ball after a good one. That watch can't do nothing. Did a vehicle, fly along the mountains and find a place to park it, or did someone build a place to leave a space for such a thing to land? head go bum. From somewhere out there, up the head go bum. From somewhere around there, the Indians first on the bell. Car, what the hell?
Chester's thing.
En route. En route. That's route.
Okay. I liked it. Okay, first of all, I just want you guys to know nothing can shock me because I went to music school and we learned Schoenberg. Okay? Schoenberg and everything else that happened as as we went into the 20th century, basically, right? We left the tonal system completely. And they decided to break things down. Schoenberg's like, I'll make the 12-tone system. Let's get rid of tonality altogether. Let's break out of keys, as had been pushed forward by people like Wagner at the very end of the 1800s, right? So Wagner's pushing things out of tonal. He's like shifting keys. He's jumping to progressions. And then they're like, let's just break down the whole tonal system. You get Schoenberg. Then you get the kind of American school versus the European school. We get the Stravinsky comes to LA, really is a neoclassicist, is progressive. He definitely does things that are out there, but he stays in neoclassicism. He stays in structure. He had some crazy things like Rite of Spring, but by the time he wrote like the Rake's Progress opera, I feel like Stravinsky was really firmly rooted in neoclassicism. Then, of course, we get the people like Aaron Copland, who are very neoclassical in terms of just folk tune melodies, stuff like that. Then over in the European school, Schoenberg's whole influence just kind of gets out there and they get into weird European stuff, and that all has its own little trickle down. So my point is, nothing can shock me. I've heard the craziest things. I've heard the most non-tonal music ever. So there are so many aspects of this. There's a lot of shifts. This, I'd say, of everything I've heard of Zappa, which is not very much, this is the one that lends itself most to what I've heard Fish copy from. Because people have said, oh, Fish is so influenced by Zappa. Prior to hearing this one, I did not hear so much of the influence of this on Fish. When I heard this today, I said, oh, this is the influence on Fish. Because I could hear the way the guitar solo was playing reminded me a lot of some of the Fish jams and also the composed music of Trey. For example, when we go through changes in Fluffhead goes through a ton of tempo and key changes that remind me of this, like da 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 da. That just reminds me. So Fluffhead, kind of interlude, middle part, the instrumental part of Fluffhead, with all the key changes and rhythmic changes and sudden like melodies where like you might expect a parallel ending, but you don't get it. You get like that parallel structure, but then it varies and then it takes you somewhere else. That's exactly what Zappa was doing in this today. This was like, oh, I can see how this directly influenced Trey in a lot of the ways that he wrote for many of the types of Fish songs. Now, Fish songs span a lot of different styles, so I won't say for everything, but for some of the stuff, like I immediately thought of Fluffhead. And I thought of Reba too. Reba also does that a lot with these weird sections that are all over the place. I liked it. I liked how they're using technological advances. I mean, obviously the Beatles were doing stereo sound with like this and that, whatever, but he's doing really interesting pairings of the voice and how he records the same thing twice, but one's slightly different. Maybe one's sped up an octave higher, or they're layered on each other, but because they're panned differently, you get like an interesting effect. I'm listening with headphones, which is really nice. Like high quality headphones, when you hear the stereo panning, it's just a really cool thing. So yeah, I just was writing about, singing sounded good. The drums, the bass is just kind of out there. There was a part where the bass was just kind of grounding everything. And if you didn't know, you would be like, this is so crazy. This is so discordant. I'm like, nah, the bass is kind of keeping the structure. The bass is keeping, the guitar is doing its own little thing and dancing around. But the bass and the drums were keeping the song in like a pretty relatively recognizable structure that wasn't too crazy to grasp. Okay. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it's interesting. It tickles my brain a bit. It's not vocal. It's musically stimulating to me. So I feel like my brain is awake from it. It's very, oh, wow, this is interesting. Okay. It's not shocking. I don't think this is like, oh my God, cacophony, turn it off. It's the devil's music. Because I've heard so much worse. Okay. He's combining like that. I heard another commenter. I mentioned Stravinsky in the last video, and then someone's like, oh my God, Zappa would love that. His influence was Stravinsky. Okay, I get it now. You guys should listen to The Rake's Progress. It's a great opera, but there's some arias that like are so hard to sing because they're slightly atonal. No word from Tom, has love no voice? Can love not keep a Maytime vow in cities? It's pretty hard. I go to him. Yeah, anyway, it's pretty good. So I love it. I think it's out there. I see how this influenced other things. Never heard Zappa till just like the last few weeks. So this is interesting to me. But again, I'm glad I went to music school and learned about 20th century music and beginning of 21st century music, because I'm not shocked, okay? I was shocked when I heard Pierrot Lunaire. That's the atonal song cycle written by Schoenberg. They take all 12 of the half steps in the scale, mix it up, and they all have to be put into different orders and never repeat a note. It's a pretty awful thing. But that's shocking. This is like very, like it moves around tonal areas, But there's parts where you're like, okay, cool. I know where I am right now. I feel at home. And then we'll go and do something else. And then you're like, okay, that was a cool new thing. And it's like, oh, now I'm back over here. Okay. Oh, now we're over here. Okay. But you kind of get a sense of like you're on a journey, but you don't feel that. I don't feel that unsettled from this. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm nervous. It just like stimulates me. And I'm like, cool, that sounds really awesome. If I listened to it enough times, I would memorize it. And I'd be like, oh, it's not that hard. I can usually memorize things pretty quickly. So that's why even just with like weird songs like Fish's Fluffhead in the middle section that kind of gets out there, I just kind of know how it goes now. So when I listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah, this part, and I know what's going to happen next. And so I'm not like, whoa, what are they doing now? Anyway, yeah, Reba also has a really cool part like that. So, all right, well, I liked it. Thanks for recommending. And guess what we get to do together now? We're going to mark the screen. Look how happy that is. Oh, look at this big happiness. See, look at all these. So good. Okay, there's so much more to do. I have a lot of boomer stuff coming up, a lot of boomer ballads. That will be a fun little series. I got some Santana. I have some more Steely Dan. I got to do the whole album of Royal Scam. I have some... Yeah, so anyway, please put recommendations anyway, because they end up on this list, and then I can get a sense of what I want to do. Okay? But I am going to prioritize my sponsored requests because people paid me, so that's the right thing to do. And then when I have time or I run a live, we'll go look at the other things. So, because I like to have cool stuff on my channel. So I like all your recommendations. Thank you so much. Zappa I feel kind of relaxed now. Like it actually calms my ADD brain. Like I'm like, stimulus. I feel good. All right. I'm not shocked. Okay. I know people that would be shocked from Zappa and would be like, turn that off. I can't handle it. It's too out there, but I'm fine with it. All right. Bye.